Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Okay, we're successfully connected tonight to YouTube, and see that fellow to the right there. I got him muted and blindfolded, so he's basically just there for the exercising his ears and that kind of thing. I'm just tinkering around with doing live sharing of screens and stuff like that. No, it's AI. I was actually going to talk about that, Nathan, tonight a little bit. I notice all that AI stuff. It's like a Mockingbird media script. You know, when all these major media networks like MSNBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, where they all basically parrot the same scripts. I'm starting to notice that with AI right now, and basically just another form of manipulating the elections, in my opinion. From what I've seen, I don't even look at the AI anymore. To be honest with you, I can't stand it. We've been through enough censorship and propaganda, the psyops operation, and them reading their scripts without no obstruction whatsoever, with the FCC or whoever can rein these people in. But it's kind of ridiculous. But anyways, that RH exercise avatar, that's the summer of 2013. That's guess you can call part of the Grand Canyon. So that's all I'll say about that. The coin you see there on the left, the gold coin, it says peace and friendship. That's what supposedly Custer gave to the Native Americans, if I'm not mistaken, or that's representation of that, basically trying to make peace and friendships with the natives. So, but anyways, I forgot where I got that from, but I think it's an actual official coin, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll have to do some more research. It's been a while since I talked about that. Now, for y'all that are just coming in, after all these years, over 2 years of live streaming, pretty much alone. Every now and then I'll get some help, and I'll invite another individual up on the panel. And it worked out pretty good for a while. You know, everybody goes their separate ways and that kind of thing. I understand that, but it'd be nice to have help. You know, I don't have a studio or any of that stuff, but everything I do is basically I have to do my own research, ask a lot of questions for my friends, whatever, and try to figure out how to make this thing work. So, anyways, last I checked, I was only 4 subscriptions away from on YouTube from becoming monetized. So I just thought I'd bring that up early in the live stream for those that come in and click on it after the live stream is over. Getting kind of hungry here. So, and it's getting kind of late. It's already dark out here in Central Florida, and already dark, going on what, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or whatever they call it. And but I hope everybody's doing good. I haven't seen any of the normal followers come in yet. But anyways, so Nathan, what's on your mind? You have anything you want to contribute tonight's live stream, or so we just drop four people in a row real quick, like real quick, like. So, anyways, you're just checking out the stream. Like I said, this is kind of a exercise for me tonight to try to actually bring up another device where I could share the live streams. I was gonna um, share the information, source references, what I was about to say, but anyways, I was about to share the declaration of authority to summons the generals to Quantico in Virginia, but I had a hard time getting that information set up for tonight's live stream. But I was going to talk about that as well as the silver. So don't think that I put out clickbait as far as silver's the sky's the limit, whatever. So, anyways, now I'm basing the sky's the limit. Well, it's kind of like sky's the limit based on Wow. So anyways, it took me out of the studio here. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, they might not like this information I'm talking about now. Because I don't know why everything would shut down right now at this point. But if you're here, so I just gave the my opinion about, see here, my opinion about the price of gold and silver. So that's just like I said, just my opinion. And if you're in heavy on gold, okay, there's a lot of hype still for gold. I watched actually one channel where they were saying that gold will go up to $40,000 an ounce. Now that's like crazy. I can't even fathom that. And something like silver was going to go up to like $20,000 an ounce. I mean, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but who knows? Who knows? There's a lot more crazy stuff that's gone on, you know. But anyways, I'd like to talk about this real quick. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Somebody fact check me on that. I haven't seen anything really in the comment section so far tonight. A lot of people being quiet out there, just coming in and leaving. Okay. So, see what alerts going on here. All right. Well, so I don't know why we had that little hiccup there. Let's see here. I normally don't get those when I don't get off too fixated on the source references, but that's another platform that I'm not using now. So, anyways, um, yeah. So the silver, I don't know what the price is now for silver. I don't know if anybody can check that out real quick for RH, but if you can, pop it in the chat. Now, of course, like people to understand these um, these exchanges, precious metals exchanges, uh, online or whatever, that you can go to and order silver or gold or precious metals. Um, Remember, they're going to make a profit, so they're going to put a premium about $7 or $8 an ounce on what the current price is for silver. So if you're looking at silver, expected at the last time I looked, it'll be, if it was 77, so it'd be either 7 or 8, like above that. So you're looking at paying around 85, um, 84, $85 an ounce for precious silver 0.999 and plus 0.999 plus. Okay, so yeah, you're going to pay that premium to actually obtain actually physical gold. So be careful about the shipping and the way you order it. Now, if you want to charge your credit cards on far as silver goes, or even your debit cards, um, you know, I don't know if y'all are doing that. I get kind of like, I don't know. You can basically you can opt in the payment method. You can pay by wire transfer. I know it's a little bit of a hassle, but a wire transfer fee I think is only like $25. It's not that much. So you just have to work it out with the exchange, the salesperson at the exchange, to figure out how you can actually do that, so you can keep away from those those fees, the um, the credit cards and debit cards, uh, because it could be 3.9% up to 3.9%, maybe even higher, just for the fees for them transferring the money to wherever you're making the purchase from. Okay, so, and yeah, I think you can even order by check. They'll send you an invoice, how much, you have to pay, whatever, after you put in the order, and they'll give you the certain information that you can actually mail off a check to pay for your precious metals without a fee. Now, there will be a delay in you actually receiving it, the precious metals, but it won't be a long delay if you're with the right exchange and the right company, whatever. So, anyways, if you order it, expect, the shipping time and that kind of thing. So make sure, if you're going to an exchange online, make sure that that they have the actual whatever silver, kind of silver you're buying, whether it's bar or coins or whatever, or gold, whatever the case may be. Make sure they have it in stock. It's very important, because you don't if you don't basically, if they don't have it in stock, what you're going to end up having to do, they're going to forecast basically when they will have the stock in, and you know before you can actually before it can even be shipped. So in this case, I know of one exchange that was like out to February or something. I didn't even go through with it. I just stopped everything at that point. I was just feeling around to see how it works. You know what I mean? So I can tell my friends, if they were interested in that kind of thing, they can jump on it. But I really do believe it's going to go up, into hundreds, maybe even 1,000, and top maybe up to 1540 before it starts to simmer down. Now that might take a year, it might take longer, it might not take that long. It might, based on the actually supply versus demand and everybody wanting silver, you know, a lot of these exchanges that you can get actually physical silver. I'm not talking about futures. I'm not talking about paper silver or paper gold. Man, I would get really kind of uh, anxious or worried about if I was in paper, silver, or gold, as far as that goes. So, anyways, man, we're still here. I'm still hearing a little bit of feedback tonight. Try to limit that as much as possible. So, yes, getting back on topic here. So I don't think that there was anything else I had on that as far as precious metal goes. Yeah, again, really make sure that they have the item in stock. So if you call in and talk to the salesperson, to make a trade that way, um, you know, make sure they have it in stock, or just go online and look at their website. But, you know, sometimes you have to click and feel around, even going like you were going to order before you actually hit that order button or whatever you got to hit. Just make sure they have it in stock. It's very, very important, because a lot of people could be left holding the bag per se. So if there's a certain price you want to go into, and that's pretty much with everything, right? Certain price you want to go into, you want to get that price. You want that price to be locked in. So, and there's ways and there's exchanges that actually will lock in a physical silver quote, because they're basically predicting a future price of where it's going to, right? And they're going to make their premium off of it, right? So there's going to be a lot of demand, supply, whatever fluctuations. So they're going to basically they're going to take care of themselves first. They're not in the business of losing money, believe me. So for the people that are here tonight, okay, that know me and know this channel, there's some people here that know me personally. I've invited them to my home a few times and that kind of thing. But yeah, if you can, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on YouTube because the last time I checked, I was only 4 away from 500, which is the goal. That's the first step, a goal milestone for us that are doing live streams if we want to become um, monetized. Now, I'm thinking about, and I've said this before, I got to get on the ball with this. I'm thinking about basically being an affiliate for a major precious metal company. So I've talked about this and with the associate there at that precious metals company. So I can basically um, share a few ads, if you will, uh, just to basically try to help people understand how it all works. So I do seriously believe that silver again will eventually head up to about $1,540 an ounce based on the current gold price. So the gold price that I had researched at $4,400. That's 0.999 gold, solid gold, pretty much, right? Why are my eyes so far? Oh, yeah. Those are that's not actually that's not actually those are avatar photographs, but yeah, that's a pretty good one. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't I'm pretty sure I'm a human being. I'm not an alien, but that'd be kind of some crazy looking eyes, wouldn't it? But anyways, again, I'm at 496 subs on YouTube. So if y'all don't mind, hit the sub button. And it'd be great to, after all this time, after all this work, all the hours I put in just to put together the information for this community, people like to hear some information. And, sometimes people in the chat pop in a topic that I might not be aware of. And if I don't have any information on it, I would do my research after the fact. And the next live stream, I could come on and do the best I can to fill in people in on what that I uncovered. But just wanted to say this again. Um, a lot of my information comes from actually a career in the United States Air Force. I retired from the United States Air Force 24 years ago, approximately 24 years ago. And so I have a different take on some things as far as what's going on. Now, we talked about a lot of those things on this channel. If you're new here, for example, the the declaration of the summons and authority, where they basically um, told what was it? I think it was like 900 generals had to show up at Quantico, Virginia, uh, and that. Far as that, I like to remind people that they're gonna basically do away with about 20% of the generals in the on far as active duty is concerned. 20% because it's too top heavy, right? Too many generals, and they explained how many generals they had in wartime during World War II, right? And that's what they're going off of, right? So a lot of top heavy when it comes to generals in the military, right? and I think all branches. So they're going to streamline that and basically, I think that's a good thing. Well, maybe not. Hopefully we don't spread ourselves too thin. With anything involving Iran, Venezuela, and the war between Ukraine and Russia, and then Israel and Gaza. I haven't checked on that, and yeah, I was paying really close attention to what's going on in Iran as well. So, anyways, yeah, the I like people to go check out uh, the U.S. State Department declarations of who they have identified as terrorist organizations. For some individuals, they need a review on that because it seems like they don't understand it. And there's a law firm out there that's basically trying to put together lawfare against Trump again, basically calling for foreign leaders, if Trump travels to foreign countries, to actually arrest him on the spot, basically falsely claiming that he's involved in what do you call it, kidnapping Maduro, and a bunch of other garbage, right? That basically, I won't go into accusing other people of doing something. I don't know what they're actually, if they have done it or not. But there's a whole lot of kidnapping going on during that open border for 4 years. A lot of kidnapping, a lot of trafficking. We're talking children, women, children, men, boys, girls, you name it, right? A lot of trafficking and kidnapping going on during that time frame from January 20th of 2021 to January 20th of 2025, until that border was basically closed off to all illegal immigration. So, anyways, now, as far as I understand, they might have changed some of the rules for migrants coming in. Some countries may have been taken off the list of allowing to come in for like a work visa or a student visa, whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly where they are now. So we just went from like 12 to 1 viewer right away. So, anyways, yeah, I talked about silver and gold in the beginning. So how many believe that's faulty logic? Now, again, I could find the source of that. It'll take me a while to try to find that source reference that I was talking about. These people that basically have huge vaults. They're like owners or CEOs. They've been in this stuff in Switzerland for decades. One individual's been in it for like 50 years. You know what I mean? So it's like crazy amount of time and experience in this stuff. And they basically said that we should, or people that are interested in investing in silver, set your silver and gold portfolio for as precious metals to 65% gold and 35% silver. Okay, so 35% of gold equals to $1,540 an ounce for silver. Now, I won't go through all the applications that silver is being used for, like solar panels, batteries, military application, computers, you name it. The list is very, very long. Very, very long. So if the supply is being tightened up and they're not going to be honoring this paper silver anymore, people's going to want to have actual physical gold. Now, if you're worried about having a place to store gold or even silver, think about maybe getting, uh, if you have a bank, bank that has safety deposit boxes, think about getting a safety deposit box. Then you won't have to worry about carrying something on. Me personally, no. If I had that kind of money, whatever, to invest in gold or silver at all, period, I would not store it in my home. Now that's just basically inviting danger to not only yourselves, whoever wants to buy gold, and to your family as well, in my opinion. So, anyways, uh, and I think you can, if you have a safety deposit box. I'm not sure. I heard it kind of like somebody talking about it one time. Um, that you can actually get it insured. So might want to check that out if that's the route people want to go. And I understand if these really wealthy people out there are middle class people, if you're gonna get into silver, right? Yeah, it's silver's, at the price is going to be pretty heavy, right? It's going to be pretty heavy at the price that people want to pick it up at. But it's, I don't know anybody that deals in, other than these people that like own exchanges and that kind of thing, and their top level position exchanges for tens of decades, whatever. Uh, so let me see. Now it looks like they're trying to put out in the psychological warfare operation that they're still running on the American people. Remember that was taken from the DARPA PSYOPs program that was basically developed by DARPA. So this is what is causing so much chaos, as far as mental chaos, where people don't know what the heck's going on from one second to the next. But let me say this right real quick. Whoever's putting out this different disinformation, and there wasn't, for example, like there wasn't a drone attack in Moscow. You have to be careful, because people are trying to draw Europe as a whole into a war, and they're taunting. I don't know why they would do this. It's kind of crazy. Taunting Russia, and Russia's basically, I don't know. I think they're the ones that came out and said, "Hey, okay, my presidential residence wasn't targeted by drones." I don't know. It's so mixed up. And if we still got people spreading out false information that works inside our three-letter agencies, they need to be held accountable, and like right fast, because this thing could get really, really ugly. It's kind of ugly right now, but it's kind of like, what's the next move? That's what we're looking at. What's the next move, right? So, anyways, um, let's see here. I'm gonna give myself here a like real quick. So, okay, so if we basically, if those people out there that have holdings in gold, physical gold, if it goes basically, if you want to swap up your portfolio from basically, and if you got into gold at like 2,000 an ounce, man, you're selling it for 4,000 an ounce, man, that's a pretty good profit. You know what I mean? So I don't know, depending how much you have, of course, but still a big, great profit. I mean, at least a 100% profit on precious metals that was already kind of high to begin with. But anyways, I do believe that gold is going to be the base at 2000. I think that's the base platform for gold. Once people realize, okay, silver has all these uses for it, and that supply starts to dwindle up where there's not enough. And AI is going to take up an enormous amount of silver, enormous from my understanding. So not only you have the computers, that kind of thing, stuff for like the chips, whatever they use the silver in, you have the solar panels, you have satellites, military applications. Far as silver goes, the reflective basically has a higher percentage of reflective properties, reflective like telescopes, huge telescopes, that kind of thing, satellites, that kind of thing. So think about that as well. So, um, so if people actually want to go out there and create a silver portfolio, I mean, precious metal portfolio, and you want to basically adjust your portfolio to include silver, the recommended amount of gold that you hold is 65%. So the recommended amount of silver you hold is 35%. And at the current, like I'm just using 4,400 an ounce. That would put, if you basically sell out what you have in gold to buy silver, your amount to that silver price should actually hop up to what actually end up being $1,540 an ounce for silver. And that's if you basically, that's what it will actually, if everybody starts changing up their portfolio, adding that big a stake, and then cutting your gold down to 65%. So what will your gold be worth then? Okay, very simple, right? Simple math. So anyway, so I hope that makes sense. All right, so let me check out the subs on YouTube real quick. See if anybody's. Wow, I can't do it. Can't do it on this platform. I should be able to. Hold on a second. Yeah, I thought it would pop up. Excuse me. So that's basically, you know, we've been live about 47 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the live stream for tonight. Hopefully this information is helpful, and that's something really to be considered. You know, because the volatility, we have to think about the volatility also of the dollar currency, and I think things are going in the right direction. There's some concerns, of course, we all have. And one of my major concerns is spreading ourselves too thin, right? What possibly may leave openings, as far as national security type openings. That I know these people out there, they're a whole lot smarter than me. That's behind a lot of these operations and everything like that. So I'm not trying to second guess anyone here, but for those people that put out that information and they're trying to conspire to falsely imprison our president of the United States based on the false accusations that the president of the United States ordered a kidnapping of Maduro and his wife, right? No, Maduro, since 2020, the year 2020, Maduro had a sealed indictment against him. The night before we took Maduro hostage, whatever, the night before, we didn't kidnap him. They were he was arrested on an indictment charge. They unsealed that indictment. The Attorney General of the United States unsealed the indictment right right after or right before President Trump authorized that operation, the capture operation. So that operation did not take place, and it gave the law enforcement and military the legal authority to capture Maduro because he's a fugitive of the law based on the indictments that were unsealed. I think it was Christmas Eve, right? The 24th of December. That's when that indictment was unsealed. President Trump ordered that capture of the two fugitives of the law, and that's the reason why the operation included law enforcement officials as well. And that was probably one of the greatest or the best or operations that I can ever remember. I don't know if y'all remember. See, I was in active duty when Jimmy Carter was the president. When I first came in active duty, Jimmy Carter was the president, and unfortunately, we lost. I think it was seven men in that operation, Operation Eagle Claw, to attempt to uh, um, an attempt to rescue the hostages. I think there was around 40 hostages. I mean, they were there for I think a couple of years right before we actually rescued those hostages. Or well, we didn't have to rescue them. Iran actually, the Ayatollah, right, uh, released those as soon as President Reagan got in charge. So remember, so there was an operation to basically to rescue our hostages called Operation Eagle Claw, and we lost about 40 men there in that operation. And this is why it's really important that it's good to have a another individual up on the panel, so uh, to basically check out the source reference, get the source references, put it up on the screen for us to share. So remember, this is a one-man operation here, and so So going back to the malicious prosecution, they've already sent out these briefs. Now it comes from a law firm. I forgot the name of the law firm, but they're a legit law firm. And they basically put out these notices to arrest President Trump if he goes to a foreign country, based on what they claim is a kidnapping or whatever. So there was plenty of justification to basically capture Maduro and his wife based on the evidence in the indictment. And of course, that will all go to court. He'll have his day in court. Okay. So that's a lot more to say than what other countries do. And I won't go any further as far as that goes. There was plenty times that they offered Maduro a deal, and Maduro, the former, I think, bus driver, right? The former bus driver refused the deals, multiple deals. I mean, he could have lived the rest of his life a rich and famous type person on a tropical paradise, probably island somewhere, and he'd have been well taken care of the rest of his life. But no, he refused to basically, of course, he's not going to turn himself in, right? They're not going to turn himself in. So I like to remind people that are out there that have zero clue. They just hate Orange Man bad, whatever, and they just say the ridiculous things, right? But anyways, this has happened before, and I can't even remember the name. I think it was in Panama. Goes back a ways. But anyways, yeah, he had an indictment, and I think it was a warrant out for his arrest. Okay, so the warrant was what, $50 million? $50 million, right? Warrant out for his arrest, okay, and they were fugitives. So we had to go in before things got too bad. And there's a lot of things we don't know. You know, that the president of the United States obviously is privy to know. That has the need to know. That also applies to the Secretary of Defense. It applies to U.S. Supreme Court officials. It applies to the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, FBI directors, Department of Homeland Security secretaries, and anyone else involved in these type of activities. They have a whole lot more information that we would ever know. So it's like these individuals, like they're armchair quarterbacks, they call them what? Monday morning quarterbacks, right? But anyways, I'm not being derogatory towards that, but yeah, we all have a right to our opinion, but some of the stuff is far worse than opinions. It's libel, slander, defamation, false witnessing, whatever. Just all out lying because people just don't like President Trump. Yeah, think about it. Think how many times they were offered. Think how many times Ayatollah Khomeini was offered to basically give up the enrichment of uranium. I have to remind people they were enriching uranium while they were chanting death to America. And while certain components of the military over there was designated state sponsors of terrorism. Right? So it's not funny. It's really sad that people didn't say anything about the drone operations between Obama and Brennan or the intel community, right? All those people, thousands of innocent civilians being killed in those drone operations. Innocent men, women, and children. And here we go in, and these precision strikes are actually they are in a way defensive strikes, because if they're enriching uranium and they already have the platforms to actually put the warheads on, the time between they can actually possibly have a nuclear warhead to fit on those rockets. Remember, Iran is an ally of Russia, who's a nuclear arms country. They're allies with North Korea, who's a nuclear armed country, and they're also allied with China, who's a nuclear armed country. We don't know what they really have in Iran as far as weapons goes. Think about all those drones that Iran was making for Russia. They had some technology, and unfortunately, we got some people working covertly, highly compartmentalized, was basically, I think, providing stuff they shouldn't have provided to that regime over there. And that if those people have actually done that, aided and abetted the enemies of the United States or foreign terrorist organizations without proper clearance, whatever, permission, those people need to go to prison. And I mean like real fast. And remember, OPSEC. When someone's feeding information, I heard a rumor that they tried to call Maduro and warn him of the impending, capture order. I heard that they were just shy of basically warning him, where it would have been a lot harder to bring him to justice. So that said, now, as far as Maduro's wife goes, if we find out in the court discovery, whatever, or it would be exculpatory information for herself if she wasn't involved in any type of the illegal drug running operations or anything like that that's caused hundreds of thousands of American lives. When we think about fentanyl alone, for 4 years, they estimate about 600,000 men, women, and children died from taking fentanyl or coming in contact with fentanyl. So, Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution is very clear. It states, the United States shall guarantee to each state in this union a republican form of government and will ensure against invasion and against domestic violence. That's the President of the United States' job as both the President and the Commander-in-Chief, to keep us all safe. That's one of the primary, that is, in my opinion, it's the primary job of our government, is to help keep us all safe. And Article 4, Section 4 is very clear. You don't need to be a constitutional scholar to understand Article 4, Section 4. I've read it so many times, I have it memorized. Okay, so when they start spouting off at the mouth, right, about posse comitatus, whatever, that you can't use the military on the streets of America, they have absolutely no idea or no understanding. They have no idea what they're talking about. They have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. How many times have these states and cities that are sanctuaries for crime, allowing and actually aiding and abetting an invasion into our country, which includes a foreign military and terrorist insurgency into our country, which create violent domestic violence, violent violent crimes on our street of domestic violence. How many people have died yet just because of that alone? Not even mentioning fentanyl. Okay? I don't like to see it either. I do support, foreign aid to help the real poor people, especially those that are starving. I mean, there shouldn't be anybody in this entire world that starves, gets where they actually are starting to starve to death or whatever. That's ridiculous. Where nobody has clean water, they don't have enough food, whatever. And I'm pretty sure that's still happening all around the world. But you got these warlords, and all this stuff out there, basically just going in and taking whatever they want and just killing whoever they want. There's going to be a judgment day. And believe me, there's going to be judgment for each of us. Each of us. So again, this is a law and order and channel, and I don't support lawlessness in any way, shape, or form. I do support national defense and national offense. Yeah, you can call it Department of War if you want to. Hey, that's fine. I liked it. Of course, sometimes a good defense is the best offense. Say for example, where we're prepared, right? Our national defense, we're prepared enough to thwart an attack on our country. So whenever you take out the invading force, right? You have you can basically allocate more resources, to include human resources, into an offensive reaction, right? So I know in all cases you can't do that because this is the 21st century. We're still not traveling across the big pond on boats or ships, right? Or horses, or actually by foot. Think about it, having to basically pass a message down by foot from top level commanders to the commanders in the field, right? By foot soldiers, foot messengers. That was hundreds of years ago, right? Even by horse, think about that, having to deliver a message, Say you had to deliver a message, I don't know, from Texas, something in the border going on, and you had to deliver that message all the way to Washington. You're gonna have to have a lot of assets to basically travel that far and get there as quick as possible. The combustion engine didn't occur till what? Early 1900 or something like that? Early 1900s. Oh, anyways, so you're thinking about the push of a button and something offensive strike comes out or is heading towards our way. We have to hit that defensively unless we see something, we discover something through surveillance and we can take that out before it happens. And I'm pretty sure they got pretty good tabs on that. But remember, when you allow an invasion to occur, and think about this, how it's negatively affected all of us. Think about how negative it has been for us, for all these people coming in and them just basically emptying out their prisons. You got to do this. Well, if you go do this over there, you can come back. We'll let you stay here, but we're going to keep a close eye on you. Or we'll let you go. We'll set you up. You can go over there and you can stay over there. But when we need you, you better be ready. It's like mercenaries, right? Sending in mercenaries to be activated. See, that's why I don't hear a single individual talking about Article 4, Section 4, and nearly drives me insane. How long I've been talking about this. So anyways, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and on YouTube so I can get to the 500 milestone and then I can be monetized. So anyways, with that said, there's nothing else that comes to mind, but well, remember, trust but verify. That goes with everyone, right? Trust but verify. Um, and for those that are over on Rumble, I'm gonna get back over there on Rumble too as well. Sorry about not being over on Rumble because I can't. I got an antiquated system here I'm doing this live stream with, and it basically. Let's see here. See if I can do something with that. Yeah, I got to work on that another day. But anyways, with that said, remember, trust but verify, and that includes everyone. I mean, that people in the Department of Justice, I mean, they need more help. I'm gonna say this: they need to start hiring more people, in my opinion, and they need to be vetted, highly vetted. You know, you got a track on where they were all these years, right before you allow them to go into those positions. You have to do a very, very thorough background investigation these days, right? Because there's a lot of people that are bought and sold, and they'll do anything for $1. Anything, really. I hate to say it. Um, so with that said, remember, it's already prophesized. If you want to know about team spirit, the team we're on, go to Matthew chapter 17. Matthew chapter 17. Okay, check that out. Okay, so good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you're from. This concludes the live stream, and God bless. Good night.